besides being one of the most famous TV hosts in the world. Jimmy Fallon is a tycoon who knows very well how to make use of his enormous wealth. But have you ever stopped to wonder about just how this comedian lives? In this video, you will find out what the luxurious life of Jimmy Fallon is like. Before we get started, I challenge you. You have to click on subscribe and activate notifications. Check the option all. But you have to do that in less than 5 seconds. You got it? And if you can, write in the comments #AllAboutSubscribe. Alright, let's get started. Career. Born in 1974 in New York City, James Thomas Fallon, known simply as Jimmy Fallon, is a famous television host. From a young age, he was always interested in comedy, until at the age of 21 Fallon decided to move to the city of Los Angeles to dedicate himself fully to stand-up comedy. The big turning point in his career happened when he was hired as a cast member of Saturday Night Live, one of the most popular comedy shows in the world, which made him start to become very well known due to his super funny performances. After a few years in comedy, Jimmy Fallon decided to dedicate his career to movies, having starred in hit films like Taxi and Fever Pitch. A few years passed and he returned to television, this time as host of Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. His performance as a host did so well that he was invited in 2014 to become the 6th host of The Tonight Show, where he remains to this day. Since then, Jimmy has become one of the most famous TV hosts in the United States, conducting very laid-back interviews with various celebrities and breaking ratings records on his shows. And it's no wonder that Jimmy Fallon currently has a salary that is more than enough to live a super comfortable life full of luxuries. Mansion. Jimmy Fallon is an entertainer who does not give up comfort and sophistication when choosing a place to live with his family. The house he grew up in, for example, was built in 1915 and sits on a 25,000 square foot lot in the town of Saugerties, New York. On his Twitter, the entertainer commented that the property was a great place to grow up, and according to media reports, the property was listed in 2012 for $210,000. Currently, Jimmy Fallon lives in a ranch-style mansion in the Hamptons, located in the charming village of Sagaponack. The star's residence was built in 1850, with it keeping its antique and refined aspects. It totals 3,500 square feet of interior area. The place has a living room with a fireplace, a dining area with a round table next to some glass windows, and a well-lit kitchen with large counters for preparing meals, which is next to a family room containing a television and pictures of animals on the walls. There are also 6 bathrooms covered in luxury, as well as 6 bedrooms with clean decors that bring a sense of serenity to the place. One of the suites, located on the top floor, includes another gracious living room and a bathroom with lovely views of the canopy. Outside, meanwhile, there's a 2.2-acre lot filled with lovely landscaping, where Jimmy Fallon and his wife can take daily walks, plus a well-kept lawn that offers plenty of space for the host to have fun with his daughters. The setting also has other amenities such as sitting areas on a deck, a large and luxurious pool, and a very spacious barn that has great wooden structures in its architecture. In addition to all this, the property still has 2 cottages, which have cozy accommodations for the presenter's guests. This was the home that Jimmy Fallon and his family stayed in during the pandemic, with the location becoming the home studio for the host, who did several recordings for The Tonight Show. Through this footage, Jimmy gave more details of some places in his home, such as the cozy balconies where he usually spends his time, an art workshop equipped with various tools, and a recreation room with a piano and a large television to play video games, which also has an incredible slide that leads downstairs, making the life of the presenter and his daughters more fun on a daily basis. According to media reports, the house in the Hamptons was purchased for $5,700,000. Jimmy Fallon has also owned a few units in a high-end condominium in Gramercy Park, considered one of the quietest districts in New York City, filled with historic properties for sophisticated living. According to some sources, the host has had 5 units in this building, with his latest purchase being a 785 square foot modern studio that he intended to use as a personal office. The star combined all his apartments in over 3 stories to form an incredible 5,000 square foot property that features a living room with a blue sofa, a kitchen with a large wooden table, and a stylish lounge that includes a vintage bar and seating area near a gas fireplace. The place also features 6 bathrooms, a game room with a fireplace, and 6 stunning bedrooms, with the suite having a large skylight in the ceiling. Jimmy Fallon purchased his first apartment on the site in 2002 for $850,000 and began buying neighboring units in the following years, spending a total of $5,800,000 on 5 properties, of which he has sold this year to model Cara Delevingne for $10,800,000, despite the host's initial listing asking for $15 million. In addition to these properties, Jimmy Fallon is speculated to own property in the town of Wolfboro, located near Lake Winnipesaukee in an area surrounded by beautiful natural scenery. Cars. Although the TV host Jimmy Fallon doesn't like to show off, he has been spotted driving some nice vehicles. Starting with the cheapest, he has already been seen with a Land Rover Discovery 4, a spacious vehicle that can offer a lot of security for all its passengers. And despite being an older model, it can be found costing around $30,000. To enjoy the summer with his wife, Jimmy has been seen driving around in his Mini Cooper convertible, a very stylish vehicle that, despite being small, can be super powerful. This sporty compact car can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.3 seconds in its fastest and most complete models, and it's no wonder that a brand new one can cost upwards of $40,000. The presenter has also been spotted getting out of a Chevrolet Suburban, a big spacious car, capable of offering a lot of comfort for its passengers. And it's no wonder that the newest and most complete models can top the $70,000 mark. An even more spacious one, Jimmy has been seen storing groceries in a Yukon XL, a huge car that is ideal for those who are looking to prioritize comfort and safety. The interior of the vehicle has a modern panel, besides being very spacious, being able to accommodate up to 7 passengers. And to give you an idea of the price, the newest vehicles of this model can cost upwards of $70,000. The presenter has also been spotted getting out of a Lexus LS, a luxury sedan with a modern design, being equipped with a very powerful engine. And to own one of these, you may need to cash out over $80,000 depending on the model. Personal life. Being one of the most famous TV hosts of today, many people are interested in getting to know a little more about Jimmy Fallon's life. It is known that since 2005 the comedian has been in a relationship with Nancy Juvenin, a 55-year-old film producer he met on the set of Saturday Night Live. They married in 2007 and currently have 2 beautiful daughters, both born through surrogacy. On social media, Jimmy always shares moments alongside his daughters, showing how he is an excellent father. Sources of income. Apart from earning a lot of money as a TV host, Jimmy Fallon has other sources of income that also make him quite a lot of cash. One of the areas he excels greatly is as a writer, being considered a best-selling author. Throughout his career, he has released several children's books, his latest release being in 2022 with Con Pollo, a bilingual playtime adventure, a picture book done in partnership with star Jennifer Lopez. The film industry is also another area where Jimmy gets good returns. This is because he has appeared in several movies, some of which have been very successful, such as Get Hard, Ted 2, and Jurassic World. And we can't forget his work in the dubbing industry, having already lent his voice to several animated films, such as Dougal, Arthur, and The Revenge of Meltazard and Arthur 3, The War of the Two Worlds. Another source of income for the TV host is his own image. Because he is a funny personality and known worldwide, several companies have already invested in commercials with him, such as Frito-Lay Snacks, the financial services company Capital One, Michelob Ultra Beer, among many others. Social media can also be considered another source of income for the comedian. This is because he has tens of millions of followers, and he also makes use of it for advertisements. Only on his Instagram, for example, Fallon has over 23 million followers. However, on his Twitter, he has exceeded the 50 million people mark, a huge audience that he can also monetize with publicity posts and by promoting his children's books. With all this, we can say that apart from his salary as a host, Jimmy Fallon is a man who has several sources of income. Net worth. As one of America's most famous talk show hosts, it's no surprise that Jimmy Fallon has made a lot of money over the course of his career. But things weren't always like this. He had to work hard to reach the financial heights he has today. To get an idea about his income, it is estimated that when he was accepted as a cast member of Saturday Night Live, his salary was around $7,000 per episode, which may have earned him as much as $147,000 in the first season with all its 21 episodes. As Jimmy excelled on the show, it is likely that his salary grew over time and may have even reached the maximum salary that the show pays, which is $25,000 per episode, or in other words, $525,000 from all the episodes of a year. However, when he left the show to invest in his acting career, some sources speculate that he received a fee of at least $1 million to star in films like Fever Pitch and Taxi. And while that's an excellent income, that figure is low compared to when he decided to return to television as a talk show host. On the Late Night with Jimmy Fallon show, for example, some sources estimate that his initial annual salary was around $5 million. And amazingly enough, that figure pales in comparison to the amount of money he currently receives on his show. To get an idea, some sources estimate that for Jimmy to host The Tonight Show, he receives an annual salary of no less than $16 million. And all this gigantic salary is just a reflection of the results the presenter brings to the broadcaster he works for. Proof of this is the great repercussion that his program reaches on social networks, having, for example, more than 11 million followers on Instagram and more than 30 million subscribers on YouTube, totaling over 16 billion views when adding all the videos together. And no wonder it was reported in the press that Jimmy's contract has been renewed until 2026. And while no one really knows how wealthy he really is, many sources estimate that currently at the peak of his 48 years of age, Jimmy Fallon has already amassed a net worth of $60 million, a sufficient amount to provide him with plenty of luxury and comfort. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel, deals to satisfy your curiosity.